All right, friends, we are back with another video for our text render actors tutorial. So where we left off with the last one was that we looked at how to change the shape of different items in our scene. And now that we have the place actors panel on the left side of the screen, I'm gonna go ahead and add the text render actors as well as the trigger box. So the first thing I'll do, just to make it a bit interactive, I'll add the trigger box right here so we can make it where once the player goes over this ramp, and as we've done before, I'm gonna go ahead and press R, and this will give me a different shape and I'm able to interact with it in a different manner. So I'll put it back, I'll press W so it can bring me back to the arrows. But let's say now I'm gonna add the trigger box. So I will go ahead and just drag it. That's what you do. Once you go ahead and click on it from the actors panel on the left hand side, you just drag it to your scene, and now it just gave me the different arrows. I'm just gonna put my mouse over the blue arrow and just move it up. And as I've mentioned in class, we can, let's say you have something up in the air right here. Wait, I just left my, so you have something up in the air. If you press the end button on your keyboard, it brings it to the ground. So I'm just kind of moving this around. And also, if I go ahead and press R, remember what R does? R allows you to make it bigger. If I want the trigger box to be bigger, I can do that as well, just to give the player enough space, or for them to hit it right away for the words to appear. So I'm just gonna move it towards the front so we can place our words in the back. Okay, hold up, my clicking game, it's not really strong. It's probably my computer though. But okay, so now that we have the trigger box in our scene, I'll move it a bit to the right, and I'll move it back a little bit. We'll go ahead and add our text render actor. So as I've mentioned before, the actors panel is where we add different things into our scenes. So right now, obviously, you're probably like, Professor Jamel, I don't really see text render actor anywhere. So what you can do, you go into this search bar and you'll type in what you need. So if I need a text render actor, it pops up right away because there's not a lot of other things that are called that. So same step that we took to bring the trigger box, we'll do the same thing for the text render actor, and we'll just drag this into our scene, and boom, it should appear. My computer's a little slow, so sometimes it takes a little bit of work, but so we'll use our blue arrow to bring this up. So one thing to keep in mind is that it always defaults to text. So anytime you bring a text render actor into the world, it will say text. So from our last video, we went over the outliner on the right side. And remember, the outliner is the portion of the user interface that tells you everything you need to know about that specific item. So right here we have the, and you can also, fun fact, you can also select an item from this portion right here, and it brings you to that specific thing. So now it tells me this is cube 6, and it reflects that on in the middle. So if I wanted to, since I'm working with a text render actor 2, it clicks on it for me. There's also another text render actor, just so you're not confused. The other text render actor from this scene is right here where it says third person template. So that's the first one. So you can always rename things just so you know and you're not confused, but we'll just leave it as text render actor 2 so we know what it is. And the other thing that we'll do now that we have our text render actor into the scene, and remember our main goal is for the player to collide with this trigger box and for a text to appear. So one thing we want to do to set that up, first of all, I'm gonna rotate, and remember we rotate any items in our scene by clicking on the E on your keyboard. So now I'm gonna rotate this. I'm gonna try to rotate the text right here. Boom. I'll probably make it a little bigger too, just so it can be something that we see once we hit it. So yeah, now that we have our text into the scene, one thing that I do want you guys to keep in mind is that when you select this, when you select text, as you can see here in the outliner, let's go to the bottom where it says text. This is where my mouse is. There's a lot of things going on in the outliner because remember, it tells you everything that you need to know about this specific item. What I want you to do is go hover on the text button right here. And if you click on it, you can go ahead and remove it. So backspace, it removes it. So now text is empty into our scene. And the reason why we're doing this is because we want this to say another word rather than text once we collide with the trigger box. So as you can see here, you can make it so if I put I love VRT 101, that's going to appear in our scene right here. But remember, if it's already here, it means that once the level starts, so I'm going to go ahead and hit play. Once the level starts, we already see I love VRT 101, but we don't want that. We don't want that to happen. We want it to be where once we collide with the trigger box, as you can see, the trigger box is invisible in the world, and we want to do the same thing with our text render actor. So that is why I deleted it in the first place. So now that we've already, just a little recap, we've added our trigger box into our scene, we've added our text render actor, and we've also removed the text. We've made it empty, so it still exists in the world. Remember, anything you see in the outliner exists in our world today. So now you're like, okay, Professor Jamel, how do I go ahead and make text appear? Well, I'm glad you asked, because we're gonna go ahead and move to Blueprint, and I will see you for the next video.